A new neighbor threatened to sue me if I didn't remove the fence, so I completely removed it. She came to me pleading to put it back because her house was destroyed. According to this survey, your fence is encroaching on my property by 9 inches. Anne stood on my front porch. Tuesday afternoon, 3:47 p.m. I remember checking my watch because I'd been in the middle of something, pulling weeds in my front garden, planning to finish before dinner, stack of official-looking papers in her hand, tight smile on her face, designer sunglasses pushed up on her head like a headband, expensive workout clothes that had never seen a gym. You have 2 options, pay me for the land or move the fence back. I'd been on my knees in the dirt, hands filthy, old jeans with holes in the knees, t-shirt from a 5K I'd run 3 years ago. Just wanted to finish my gardening, maybe have a beer, watch the game. Normal Tuesday evening. I'm sorry, what? I stood up slowly, brushed dirt off my hands. The fence, in the backyard. It's 9 inches onto my property. I had a professional surveyor come out yesterday. Cost me $800, but it was worth it. See? She shoved the papers toward me. Aggressive. Triumphant. Right here. Page 3. The property line runs 9 inches east of where your fence currently sits. 9 full inches of encroachment. The fence I'd built 6 years ago. The fence I'd paid for completely out of pocket. Materials, professional crew, labor, permits, everything. Because my neighbors at the time, the Hendersons, sweet retired couple, couldn't afford to split the cost. I talked to your previous owners before I built that fence, I said, trying to stay calm, reasonable. We walked the property line together, used the old survey pins from when these houses were built. They agreed on the placement. We shook hands on it. Anne waved her hand dismissively, like she was swatting away a fly. I don't care what deal you had with the Hendersons. That's not my problem. They're not here anymore. They're gone. I'm here now, and the fence is on my property. You need to move it back to the correct property line or pay me for the land it's currently occupying. How much? Her smile got wider, more satisfied. $1,500. That's more than fair. For the 9 inches of land you're currently using without permission, without paying. That's technically trespassing, encroachment. I could charge you a lot more if I wanted to. $1,500 for 9 inches of dirt, for a strip of land so narrow you couldn't even walk through it. I'll need to think about it, I said carefully. Her smile got tighter, colder, eyes harder. You have 1 week, 7 days. After that, I'm calling my lawyer. This is property theft, encroachment. I could sue you for a lot more than $1,500 if I wanted to. I could sue for years of back rent on that land, thousands of dollars. But I'm being nice. I'm being reasonable. 1 week, she turned on her expensive boots and walked back to her house. Designer jeans, perfect hair, confident stride, like she'd just won something. I stood there in my front yard, dirt under my fingernails, papers crumpled in my hand. $1,500 for 9 inches of dirt. 6 years ago, I'd built that fence in my backyard. Nothing fancy or elaborate, just a solid 6-foot privacy fence. Cedar wood, well-built, professional installation. The kind that would last 20 years with basic maintenance. I'd talked to my neighbors first, the Hendersons, retired couple in their early 70s, Frank and Marie, sweetest people you'd ever meet. We'd walk the property line together one Saturday morning, coffee in hand, looking at the old survey pins from when the subdivision was built in 1987. They didn't want to pay for a new professional survey. Those things cost a fortune, and we trust you completely. And honestly, I didn't care about precise measurements. Didn't care about 9 inches one way or the other. We were talking about a backyard fence, not a border dispute. We eyeballed it, found what looked like the reasonable middle ground between the old pins, agreed on a spot that seemed fair to both of us, shook hands, done. I paid for everything. $4,000 total. Professional crew, quality materials, permits, labor, everything. The Hendersons were on a fixed income, Social Security, and a small pension. Couldn't contribute financially. I didn't mind. I wanted the fence anyway. My dog needed the fence. Worth every penny. They were thrilled, grateful. Brought me homemade cookies when it was finished. We were good neighbors for a year. Great neighbors. The kind who watch your house when you're on vacation. Water your plants. Bring in your mail. Then they sold. Moved to Arizona to be near their daughter and grandkids. Warm weather. Better for Frank's arthritis. That's when Anne moved in. Anne was from Chicago, North Side, Lincoln Park area, she made sure to mention, multiple times. A realtor and real estate investor. Loved to talk about how she'd flipped 8 houses in 12 years. Made a fortune. Retired at 45. This house was her forever home, her dream property, her sanctuary. Loud, opinionated, confident to the point of aggressive. The kind of person who dominated every conversation, who always knew better, who corrected everyone. She had a dog, Razor, German Shepherd mix. Beautiful dog, smart eyes, good temperament. But he spent 90% of his day outside barking at everything. Kids walking by, squirrels, leaves falling, birds landing, the wind blowing, constant barking from dawn to dusk. He chews furniture, Anne explained once when I mentioned the barking. Defensive. Destroyed my couch, my coffee table, my dining room chairs, thousands of dollars in damage. So he's an outdoor dog now. Better for everyone. Better for him. He needs space. I didn't argue. Not my dog. Not my problem. The first 6 months after she moved in were fine. Cordial. Normal neighbor stuff. We waved when we saw each other. Made small talk about weather and yard work. She borrowed my ladder once. I borrowed her hedge trimmer. Standard suburban neighbor relationship. relationship. Then one afternoon, that Tuesday, 6 weeks ago, I came home from work around 3:30 p.m. and saw a guy in an orange surveyor's vest walking around my backyard, taking measurements, placing little flags and markers, setting up equipment, focused entirely on the fence line. I walked over. "Can I help you?" "Just doing a property survey for the owner." He gestured toward Anne's house. She wanted to know the exact property lines, where everything sits legally. Okay, weird, but okay. Her money, her choice. Should be done in about an hour. I went inside, didn't think much of it. Maybe she was planning a project. Maybe she needed the survey for refinancing. Maybe insurance required it. Who knows? The next day, that Wednesday, Anne showed up at my door with those papers, with her tight smile, with her ultimatum: move the fence or pay me $1,500, 1 week, or lawyers. That night, I sat at my kitchen table, beer in hand, papers spread out, looking at the survey, the measurements, the reality. She was technically correct. The fence was 9 inches onto her property according to the new professional survey. 9 inches, not a foot, not 2 feet, 9 inches. But I'd built it in good faith, with permission from the previous owners, with a handshake agreement, with their blessing, and I'd paid for everything, every single dollar, $4,000 6 years ago. Now she wanted me to either pay her $1,500 for 9 inches of land, or pay probably $5,000 to move the entire fence back. I called my contractor buddy Mike around 8 p.m., guy who'd built the original fence 6 years ago. Good guy, honest, fair prices. Told him the whole story, the 9 inches, the $1,500 demand, the threat of lawyers and lawsuits. He laughed, actually laughed out loud. "Man, that's brutal. What do you want to do? You want me to move it back 9 inches? That's gonna be expensive. Probably cost almost as much as building a new fence. Have to pull all the posts. They're cemented in deep. Reset the entire line. Rebuild whole sections. We're talking $4,000, maybe $5,000. No," I said slowly. Idea forming. "I want you to remove it. Completely. Every post, every board, every screw, every piece. Take it all down." Silence on the other end. Long silence. Then, "You sure about that? That's a good fence. Quality work. You paid good money for it." "Yeah, I'm sure. If she wants it gone, it's gone." "When do you want me to do it?" "As soon as possible. This week if you can." "I can do Friday morning. Should take about 4 or 5 hours with a crew." "Perfect. Do it. You're the boss. I'll send you a quote for the removal." He emailed me an hour later. $1,200 for complete removal and disposal. I approved it immediately. I didn't tell Anne. Didn't warn her. Didn't give her a heads up or courtesy notice. Just waited. She must have thought she was winning. Must have thought I'd cave. Pay her the $1,500 just to avoid the hassle. Beg her to let me keep the fence where it was. She'd stand on her back porch in the mornings with her coffee, arms crossed, watching me when I was outside. Smug look on her face. Satisfied. Victorious. She even waved at me once when I was mowing my lawn. Little finger wave. Smirking. Triumphant. I waved back. Smiled. Friendly. She had no idea. Friday morning, Mike's crew showed up at 8 a.m. sharp. 3 guys. Big truck, tools, equipment, ready to work. They started at the back corner. Worked systematically. Removed every post. 12 of them. Each cemented 3 feet deep. Every board. 72 individual cedar planks. Every screw. Every piece of hardware. Every bracket. Everything. Loaded it all into the truck. Would take it to the dump or salvage what they could. Didn't matter to me. Took about 4.5 hours. Left my yard completely open. Completely exposed. Just grass and dirt where the fence used to be. Anne came outside around noon. Must have heard the noise. Watched them load the last pieces into the truck. Looked confused at first. Then satisfied. Then victorious. She actually gave me a thumbs up from her porch. Actual thumbs up. Like I'd done exactly what she wanted. Like she'd won. I nodded back. Smiled. Waved. She went back inside. Happy. Satisfied. My yard looked weird without the fence. Empty. Exposed. Strange. But my dog Cooper was 14 years old now. Ancient for a lab. Arthritic. Gray-faced. Barely walked anymore. Spent most of his time sleeping on his bed in the living room. Didn't need a fence. Didn't need to run around anymore. What Anne didn't realize, what I didn't fully realize until later, was what that fence had been doing besides providing privacy and containing dogs. Our houses sit on a hill. Elevated position overlooking a small valley. Beautiful view. Great sunsets. One of the reasons I bought this house 12 years ago. But exposed. Very exposed to weather. To elements. Anne's yard, her house specifically, is positioned directly in the path of wind coming up from the valley. Strong wind. Constant wind. Wind that hits without obstruction. Spring storms. Fall storms. Winter storms. Wind that doesn't stop. My fence had been acting as a windbreak for 6 years. Solid 6-foot barrier. Blocking that wind. Deflecting it. Protecting her yard. Her patio. Her garden. Her outdoor furniture. Everything. She just didn't know it yet. Had no idea. No clue. But she would. Very soon. 2 days after the fence came down, Sunday evening, we got hit with a spring storm. Strong one. Weather service had been warning about it all day. Severe thunderstorm warning. High wind warning. Gusts up to 50 mph. Heavy rain. Hail possible. Dangerous conditions. Stay indoors. It hit around 6 p.m. I was inside watching a movie. Heard the wind start to pick up. Then howling. Then roaring. Rain pounding against the windows. Thunder shaking the house. Normal severe spring storm stuff for our area. I checked checked on Cooper, sleeping peacefully through it all, deaf as a post, and went back to my movie. Around 8 p.m., frantic pounding on my door, loud, desperate, panicked, actually startled me. I paused the movie, walked to the door, looked through the peephole. Anne, soaking wet, hair everywhere. I opened the door. She looked destroyed, mascara running down her face in black streams, hair plastered to her head, soaking wet, shaking, actually physically shaking, eyes wild, panicked. "Please," she said immediately, voice breaking, desperate. "You have to put the fence back. Please, I'm begging you. I'll pay for it. I'll pay for everything, the whole thing. Just please put it back." "What happened?" She started crying, full breakdown, sobbing. The wind destroyed everything. My entire backyard, my brand new patio furniture, the expensive outdoor set I just bought 2 months ago, cost me $4,000. It all blew away, blew into the pool. The table shattered, chairs bent, cushions everywhere, ruined, all of it. She was hyperventilating. My pergola, the custom one I just had built last month, cost me $6,000. It collapsed completely, just fell apart, destroyed, wood everywhere, posts snapped, roof torn off, completely destroyed, tears streaming. My garden, all my plants, all my flowers, everything I planted this spring, shredded, destroyed, torn out of the ground. The wind just ripped everything apart. Her voice broke completely. And Razor got so freaked out by the wind and the noise and the storm that he bolted through the side gate and ran off. I spent 2 hours looking for him, driving around the neighborhood in the rain, calling his name, soaking wet. Finally found him 3 blocks away, hiding under someone's car, terrified, shaking, wouldn't come to me, had to crawl under the car to get him. She looked at me with desperate, pleading eyes, mascara everywhere, hair dripping. "Please, you have to put the fence back. I didn't know it was protecting my yard. I didn't understand. Please, I'm sorry. I was wrong. I made a mistake. I'll pay you. I'll pay for the whole thing, everything. Just please put it back." I stood there in my doorway, dry, warm, safe, comfortable, looked at her standing there on my porch in the rain, soaking wet, destroyed yard, terrified dog, everything ruined, everything gone. "I'm sorry, Anne," I said, voice calm, even, measured. "You wanted the fence gone. You threatened to sue me. You gave me 1 week to either pay you or remove it. You said it was encroaching on your property. You were right. The survey proved it, so I removed it. Problem solved. No more encroachment. But I didn't know. I can't afford to put it back now," I continued. "You didn't want to pay me anything for the 9 inches. You wanted me to pay you $1,500, and now I don't have the money to rebuild it. That fence cost me $4,000 6 years ago. Would probably cost $6,000 or $7,000 now with inflation and material costs. I can't afford that. I spent $1,200 just having it removed." Her face went white, completely white, like all the blood drained out. Maybe we could work something out. I could pay for it. All of it. I'll give you the $1,500 back, plus pay for the new fence, everything. Just please." "I'll think about it," I said. Then I closed the door, gently, firmly. Final click. She stood there for a long moment. I could see her shadow through the frosted glass panel in the door, standing, not moving. Then she turned and walked away, back into the rain, back to her destroyed yard. She knocked again the next day, Monday morning, 7:30 a.m. I was having coffee, getting ready for work. I didn't answer, just watched through the window as she stood there, knocked 3 times, waited, knocked again, finally left. She came back Tuesday evening. Around 6 p.m., I was making dinner, didn't answer. Wednesday morning, didn't answer. Thursday evening, didn't answer. She left notes, slipped them under my door, in my mailbox. "Please call me. We need to talk. Anne, I'm willing to pay for everything. Please, let's work this out. I made a mistake. I'm sorry. Please." I threw them away without reading past the first line. Eventually, over the next 2 weeks, she stopped coming, stopped knocking, stopped leaving notes. But I'd see her in her backyard sometimes, from my kitchen window, trying to clean up the destruction, trying to salvage things, hired people to remove the collapsed pergola. Took them 2 days, bought cheaper patio furniture, smaller pieces, heavier concrete pieces that wouldn't blow away as easily. But every storm after that, every strong wind, caused more problems, more damage, more chaos. I'd see her running outside during storms, trying to secure things, trying to bring furniture inside, trying to prevent disaster. She kept Razor inside after that first storm. Full-time indoor dog now. I'd hear him barking through her walls when I was in my backyard. Constant barking. Hear her yelling at him. Hear the chaos. Hear her frustration. The house that was supposed to be her forever home had become a nightmare. 4 months later, early September, there was a for sale sign in her yard. Big professional sign. Real estate company logo. Price to sell. She moved out 3 weeks later, before fall storm season, before the real weather hit, before winter, before snow and ice and brutal wind. I heard through other neighbors, through Susan 2 houses down who knew everything about everyone, that Anne sold the house at a significant loss, bought it for $340,000 14 months earlier, sold it for $295,000, lost $45,000 plus all her improvements, the pergola, the furniture, the landscaping, everything. All gone, lost money, lost time, lost her dream, lost everything. New neighbors moved in mid-October. Nice couple. Dave and Jennifer, mid-40s, 2 kids, 10 and 12, normal suburban family. They introduced themselves a week after moving in, brought over cookies, asked about the neighborhood, the schools, normal new neighbor stuff. Dave asked about the missing fence. We noticed there's no fence between the properties, just open yard. Were you planning to build one? We'd be happy to split the cost if you want. Make it easier for both of us. Keep our dog contained. I told them the whole story. The Hendersons, the handshake, Anne, the survey, the 9 inches, the ultimatum, the removal, the storm, everything. They laughed. Actually laughed. That's insane, Jennifer said. She threatened to sue you over 9 inches and then destroyed her own yard? Pretty much. So, do you want to rebuild it? We'll split everything 50-50. Materials, labor, everything. Fair? I smiled. I appreciate it. But I'm good. My dog's too old to need it anymore. And I kind of like the open space now. But thank you. They nodded, understanding. If you change your mind, let us know. I will. I still haven't put the fence back. Don't plan to. Cooper died 6 months ago. Old age. Peaceful. No more need for containment. And every time there's a storm, every time the wind picks up, I sit in my living room and smile.